Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Upwave Customer Showcase. We are thrilled today to be joined by Ionna Protogiannis, the Senior Manager of Advanced Campaign Analytics from LG Ad Solutions. Ionna, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So I'm excited for this conversation because I've heard a lot of talk about direct-to-glass advertising. That was a topic that a lot of people are covering in the new fronts and upfronts, as is at a lot of industry events recently. So tell us what that is for those who aren't familiar with direct-to-glass advertising. What does that mean, and how can marketers take advantage of it?
Of course. So I think our CMO, Tony, did a great job at the New Fronts calling our direct to glass really our value prop. And the one thing that I wanted to highlight was he said it was Shazam for your TV. And I think just taking a step back for a second, that really does help visualize what ACR is for the TV, which is our direct to glass. So the benefit of the direct to glass is that we are able to provide solutions for clients beyond linear on majority of our TVs, which is the main TV in a lot of our households, which is super exciting. We're also able to capture viewership and activity from devices that are plugged into the TV. So think HDMI devices, as well as gaming consoles, which is a really huge opportunity out there. So all of this together really does help put LG Ad Solutions at a competitive edge in the market.
Yeah, that's great to think all those different devices that you can reach with this one channel. So my assumption and understanding is that this is powerful for both brand advertisers and performance advertisers. Is that true? And if so, are they using your toolkit in the same ways, in different ways? How are brand advertisers versus performance advertisers approaching your platform?
Yeah, so I think that's a great question. Both of them are definitely using ACR in order to target their audience and really understand. Brand advertisers may be looking at not as many segments given ACR because they're looking for more brand awareness or ad recall and really getting their name into the market. When we do get down to performance marketing in that sense and really on that lower level, we do see that clients are definitely more keen to have niche level targeting and really understand this direct to glass in a way that they're able to see the results at the end. And this is kind of where we work together, actually, because we find that brands love to run brand lift studies with you guys to kind of get the overall awareness. But then also they have smaller brands under that they want to run different lines of business and check their performance marketing on those lines versus the overall top brand awareness.
Oh, that's great. See that complementary nature
Yeah.
of the parent brand and the product brand to use your tools both for brand building and sales activation. That's great to hear.
Yes.
So how are those conversations changing in light of changing economic times? I know a potential economic downturn has been on everyone's mind for a while. Does that change how marketers talk to you about their investments in brand building and/or sales activation and how they would use your platform differently? Or are most marketers kind of charging full steam ahead?
I will say that the economy is definitely top of mind for everyone. And as you know, each of the clients that we have are, going through different various layoffs or cuts in budgets, it does make it a little challenging at times to really capitalize on it. But the one thing that I will say that I've seen in the success of budgets thus far throughout 2023 is really based on how do we show the value of the dollar. So this is kind of where we also work together. So the beauty of having a brand lift on top of a first party targeted campaign, you're able to see the effect of the first party data as well as the third party and how to tell that holistic story to then give the client who goes back to their chief financial operating officer and says, you know what, I need some extra money here. And here's why. This is what I was able to drive in revenue across these media. And this is really important for us. So that is something that has been super helpful as a collaboration with our two teams.
Yeah. Yeah. We're seeing the same thing across all of our customers that we work with, where CFOs are coming to CMOs and saying, hey, I want you to cut this budget. So measurement and analytics becomes actually more important than ever, because if you're going to have a 20% haircut to your marketing budget, you better not just cut that 20% randomly. You better know what 80% is driving the most value. And that in turn is why marketers are asking platforms like yourself, I think, for these innovations in measurement that you're pulling off. So that's great to hear. And speaking of innovations in the space, probably an understatement to say that TV is changing. And as you know, marketers are flooded with an acronym soup. They hear about CTV, AVOD, FAST, probably some new ones that will pop up in the coming years. So, what are you seeing in this space? This broadly speaking, ad supported streaming space. How are consumers behaving? What are consumers thinking? What's the LG Ad Solutions perspective on this?
That's honestly such a great question because as we just talked about, like an economic downturn, if you think of what that means for the consumer at the end, their wallets are getting a little tighter. So that's really
Yeah.
key in this case here. So we did an internal study that had showed 4 out of 10 households roughly are planning on decreasing to by one subscription. So
Hmm.
we do see that the rest of the households, roughly 6 out of 10, will be leaning heavier into fast AVOD like streaming because there is, again, a little tightness on the budget and the wallet as we are going into an economic downturn. So we do see a spike in our FAST as well as LG channels. So more to come and to see what this means for the future, but we are starting to already receive feedback that, the budgets and wallets are tightening.
Yeah, yeah. We hear that too. So I imagine that's a trend that we'll see continuing. Well, this is a great conversation. So I wanted to close by getting into some campaign details as we love looking at Upwave being a campaign measurement company. So you spoke earlier about advertisers that use your platform, both for brand goals and performance goals. I think one of them is Uber, a marketer that most of our audience will be familiar with. And I took the liberty to take a peek at some recent campaigns you've been running for them and saw some very impressive results at the top of the funnel. So one recent campaign, I saw very significant lifts in ad recall, really impressively high numbers there, and also lift on awareness, consideration, brand preference, and customer forecast. So a lot of wins at different KPIs in the upper funnel. And I think this is even extra impressive considering the high baselines for a brand like Uber. It's easier to have some of these KPIs lifted when you have lower baselines. So I think that was extra impressive looking at that data. And obviously we look at this through the lens of benchmarks of thousands of campaigns. So we have a lot of data to prove these are impressive results. So I'd love to hear a bit of why, to take a victory lap on that campaign, why you guys had that success. I'm inferring it's a targeting success story that you were able to reach specific audiences like frequent concert goers or ride sharers, people with certain travel behaviors. Is that a correct understanding of that this was a targeting win and an audience win?
For sure. I mean, I think that is one of the highlights of working with us is that you're able to kind of smush together first party targeting and third party to really hone in on who you want to go for more specifically. So one may not think when they think CTV about a concert goer, but it does help in order to put first party and third party together to really go after that audience and make sure we are capturing that specific audience for the client. It is very important to the client that the targeting is exactly how they envision it so that they feel confident about the results in the end when it comes to ad recall or awareness.
Yeah, yeah, it makes sense. Well, I think as CTV continues to take over the world, it seems, then we'll soon think of every audience as a CTV audience. Well, great conversation. I know our audience will appreciate these insights you shared, Ionna. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you
And
for having me.
great. Well, we look forward to continuing the conversation with LG Ad Solutions, and we'll talk to you soon.